Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Andy with True North,
And I'm Albert with Clever Key Consulting Group.
and we're here to take a deeper dive into the topic of employee disengagement, which often turns into burnout, which then leads to turnover.
Dr. Andy, I actually want to share some statistics with you that were compiled recently from the American Psychological Association. 79% of employees reported chronic workplace stress as a major issue affecting their well-being. 60% reported negative effects of work-related stress, including lack of interest, emotional exhaustion, and physical fatigue. And from the APA's Work in America survey from 2023, 95% said working for an organization that respects work-life balance is very important. 59% of the respondents with low job satisfaction reported their workplace as toxic. 55% of employees believe their employer overestimates the mental health of their workplace environment, and 50% reported experiencing negative effects due to work-related stress, often leading to burnout. And when it comes to turnover, according to Gallup's 2023 State of the Global Workplace Survey, 51% of employed workers are actively or passively job seeking, and it can cost up to 2 times an employee's salary to replace them. So for disengagement, I think we all know what disengagement is, but how do we identify it within ourselves, and how can leaders identify it early so their employees don't become disengaged?
Yeah, I think what we tend to hear from employees when we engage with them is that they might have a great employees. They have people in place that they have seen do great work, so they know what they're capable of. But often we hear the term that they're starting to lose that sense of fun in the workplace. That sense of enthusiasm that they had is now lacking and waning. When someone's really engaged in the work that they're doing, not only are they meeting the basic standards of the job description, but really they're going above and beyond, right? They're really bought into the work they're doing and maybe the purpose for why they're doing it. But now all of a sudden they've lost that sense of alignment, or they've lost that connection, and it's more difficult for them to stay motivated. They need more promptings. They might start to show up late to work. You start to see productivity and performance absolutely decrease, but it can really get even worse than that. There's employees that disengagement can exist on a spectrum to the point where people get kind of bitter, and maybe they start to complain, and it creates this really kind of toxic negative energy around. And then there's the whole phenomena of quiet quitting, which is where people do the bare minimum amount of work to not get fired, which is effectively a nightmare for a business owner or a leader.
So what can leaders do when they identify when their key employee or several key employees become disengaged?
Well, the most powerful framework that I'm aware of, or solution for this, is the True North Radical Resilience program that we provide, where we start from a place of creating that alignment, and we talked about that quite a bit. But there's the trick is to not only have the individual employees and the leaders to have personal alignment, where we've given them a framework to define their personal core values, their purpose, their mission statement, their strengths, and how they want to apply them in the workplace so that they're bringing their kind of best self, right? Really feeling committed to the work they're doing, but also then aligning it with the True North culture of the organization. And when you create that alignment between the culture of the organization and the individual, something really magical happens. But that's where we then also bring in our radical resilience framework so that the people are able to stay aligned. If True North helps them to get into peak performance, radical resilience is what allows them to sustain that through times of uncertainty, stress, adversity, so that they're able to really be empowered to make high-level decisions, to stay highly engaged and aligned. And we know that the research shows that alignment itself between culture and individual significantly increases engagement. Resilience in and of itself significantly increases engagement. But you put the two together and it's really powerful.
So it sounds like there are ways to clearly identify it, and you've got the solution for it.
You know what might be a great idea is if we did a deeper dive into what the True North program is.
We can certainly do that. How about we do that next time?
Awesome. In the meantime, if you get a chance to leave any comments, if you have any questions or feedback, or have an idea for a future topic, please leave a comment in the section below.
We'll see you on the next time.
Thanks for checking in.